Hello and welcome to the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you live a happier, healthier, and stronger life. Building a life that you love starts with you owning your health and intentionally creating the best version of yourself. So if you're looking to better understand how proper nutrition, daily movement, mindset work, and strength training can help you create a life full of happiness and health, then you are in the right place. I generally hope that the tips, tricks, and information that we share will be the catalyst for change. I'm your host, Adam Lane. It's time to dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. I'm your host, Adam Lane. With me today, finally, after years upon years, tracking Coach Tommy Woodruff down.
Thank you.
We have gotten him to the show.
Yeah. I'm glad to be here at Oak Studios.
Look at this. Yes. Yeah. Look at the brand new studio setup that we have here. And if you're listening, you're missing out because we look so good right now. Yeah. Man.
Well, this wasn't, this was by design, of course.
Completely.
This and
yes, we were waiting. Tommy kept calling, when's the new studio done? Well, let me tell you, you hold on.
Yeah.
And then finally we got it done. He's like, well, sign me up.
Here I am.
Here you are.
Here we are. That's great.
Coach, for the tons of people that listen to the show who might not know who you are and why you're such a big deal, tell these people who you are and why you're such a big deal.
Who am I? Yeah, that's a existential question there.
Philosophical,
yeah. Yeah.
Who are any of us?
Sure. Well, listen, my name's Tommy Woodruff. I'm a martial arts school owner, 53, married. Yeah, just living life.
Yeah.
Observing.
Got some dogs?
Cats. Yeah, I got some dogs. Yeah, I got 3 big dogs. They're like my kids now. Just observing life. See what comes of it.
Observing life.
Observing it. Yeah.
So specifically, you guys, it's in martial arts studio, a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Lots of it.
You were doing it before Joe Rogan was thinking it was cool. Or before he was telling it to people it was cool.
It was close. It was close. Yeah, it was close. Yeah.
You didn't start it because of Rogan.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, but I am grateful for them.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I'm certainly grateful. But no, I've been doing it since the late 90s. Yeah. So just typical story. I mean, I was picked on as a kid. Here comes the typical story. And
in Rockford here,
I lived in Belvedere. Yeah. And then moved to Hawaii.
How did I not know this?
Yeah.
You moved to Hawaii?
I was in Hawaii for a while.
How long?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, as a kid. The reason why I bring that up is because you talk about jumping from the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah.
In terms of bullying situations. Yeah, that was really rough.
Really?
Yeah, they're not too fond of outsiders.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So that was an ordeal.
Yeah.
It just propelled me in further into martial arts and being able to, advocate for myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was the first martial art? What did we dip our toe into first?
Yeah, I think it was boxing.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just do some boxing.
What age?
Oh, geez, 8, 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Dad, throw up the hands. We'd kind of do that type of thing. And then I tried to find my way to karate. For some reason, it just wasn't in the cards for a long time as a kid. Come from a split family, so it just wasn't in the cards. And about when I was a teenager, I got into Taekwondo, and it wasn't my thing. And then fast forward, then I got into Muay Thai, kickboxing. Yeah. That was after watching Bloodsport. Remember Bloodsport? Yeah,
such a good
right. It was. I was 18.
Such a great movie.
It was a good movie. And then I was intrigued by one of the fighters, the characters in the
which one?
The Muay Thai guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just
Who was
he? Was nobody. He was just a
okay.
Yeah, but he was interesting in the film. They just didn't focus on him. And found out what that was. I got a book on it. Right. So I read the book on Muay Thai, and then there was I couldn't find a Muay Thai gym. Yeah, because it was. No one ever heard of it. Went to a Thai grocery store because I lived in the DC area, Northern Virginia area. Okay. So it was very multicultural, right? So put 2 and 2 together. There was a Thai store where they sold videos, right? And I asked for Muay Thai videos, and they had the whole wall.
Really?
Yeah. So there would be 8 hours on one tape, VHS. And that dates me right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And every weekend I'd consume hours of that footage. And then eventually found a Thai gym, did that for a few years, and got into jiu-jitsu in about the mid-90s after UFC.
Okay.
That was a life-changing moment.
Okay. That was the thing that you saw Gracie choke out big guys. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah. Not in the conventional way of beating men. It was unconventional at the time. So that brought that pursuit. there was nothing you could, there was nobody teaching jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? And then finally the Gracies came to Chicago. I did that for a minute.
Okay.
And found something a little closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you said they came to Chicago.
Yeah. They started to branch out.
Okay.
The writing was on the wall.
Okay.
They knew this was going to take off.
Yeah.
And that's a big family.
Okay.
So everybody wanted a piece of that action.
Okay.
Right. So everybody branched out. Normally you would have seen most of them in the more warmer climates. Okay. Some of them said, no, we're going to go. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So they went.
Chicago's a market. Let's go. Let's go north.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So did that for a little bit. Then I found something a little closer, and I was a little off on in the beginning. Okay. And then let's see, 2003, 4, it became almost a full-time pursuit from that point on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
And now black belt.
Third degree. Yeah. Yeah. So getting your black belt jiu-jitsu is not easy, nor should it be.
Yeah.
But it took me 14 years.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much training almost full time at that point. So, and it still took that long. Yeah. And there's some reasons why I didn't get it sooner, but I was a little heavier than I wanted to be. So I didn't want to be a black belt, and I wasn't getting my stuff together at the time. So yeah, but it was 14 years. It was life changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of cool to be a part of something that eventually took off.
Yeah. Right? Before it was cool.
Yeah. 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 I put all my eggs in that basket.
Yeah. Cause I didn't even get into it until after it was cool like that. I waited it for,
right.
Well, for it to get cool. In the way of, if people haven't, cause I think and then you mentioned the taking care of yourself part. I really want to dive into that. For people that don't, because it's interesting to see the people that you train. And we'll talk adults here because you train a lot of kids too. But adult wise, it's a spectrum of, you got guys like Chris here. You have young, old, little, big, male, female. I walked into a class last Thursday and you had 4, 6 females.
Yeah.
All going.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is, look at that. Like, I don't think that's something that we would have seen 10 years ago, which is, which I think is fantastic. Give a little jiu-jitsu 101 for people. Like what's involved?
What's involved
for the average person that doesn't know what we're talking about?
Well, jiu-jitsu is about the smaller person. Yeah. Being able to take on somebody bigger and stronger. Using the ground as an equalizer for that, right? Fights start standing vertically, right? But jiu-jitsu is, we're supposed to be the experts, right? In the horizontal position. Yeah. So once you get it there, again, that's the equalizer, and that's where and most fights go to the ground, right? So that's what we specialize in. So that would be probably the simplest way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. It's a more humane way of defending yourself with chokeholds. I know that sounds counterintuitive.
Sounds less humane, but more humane than beating people in the face. Yes.
And absolutely dropping elbows, headbutts, weapons, things of that nature. So yeah, jiu-jitsu is really, it's the gentle art. That's what it means. Yeah. It's a gentle art. I mean, it's a joke, right? In some ways, because it's gentle in one way, but it can be very brutal too. But that just depends on the situation that you're in. Yeah. Yeah.
But training wise, when we talk about the gentle art, like in the way, again, just for people that they have no idea, very controlled, often slow moving, can be fast, can be quick. I like the slow stuff. But like when you do get in a position where you can submit someone, like, hey, there's a tap and you stop, and like ideally with good training partners and whatnot, very safe.
Yes.
Endeavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Not saying it can't beat you up over the years, but like, and things pop up, but like relatively safe. Can I say, I don't know how to compare these to other martial arts, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the things that we'll get into, in terms of qualities that you develop, one of which should be, I hope, is temperance, self-control. Yeah. Right. If you can do that, understand the art and its components, feel through the movement, right? Eventually you can pick the speed up. But if you can train that way most of the time, you'll have a long career or life into this art.
Yeah.
There's people well in their 80s doing this.
Yeah.
Right. It does have its downsides again, but it all depends on how you practice the art.
Yeah.
So I like to do a combination of both, obviously. As I get older, you know, as I slow down, at the same time, I'm still effective.
Yeah.
At least I believe I am.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's all in how you practice the art. And I think it's if you want to get into it now.
Yeah.
We have a saying, the mat never lies. Okay. And that's for various reasons.
Say the weights don't lie.
They don't. They don't lie. So if you live, you know, a certain way and you come in to class and train, it will expose you. It will expose your, what do you call it? What's the opposite of virtue?
Oh, gosh.
What's the opposite of virtue? We might have to edit this out.
Virtuelessness.
Yeah, but vices.
Okay.
Vices.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It will expose.
That was good.
Yeah.
You just came up with.
But it's your vices. And what I mean by that is if you have if you have a large pizza, or if you eat bad, you come in, it will expose you.
Yeah.
More ways than one. Right. So I forgot how we got on that topic, but jiu-jitsu, it just has that ability to keep you, if you choose to, on point.
Yeah.
And that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk about that, but that's where that comes in, that component. So it will expose you, your lifestyle. If you're a smoker, if you're a drinker, you party, it will expose you. And, unfortunately or fortunately, it weeds certain people out real quick. Yeah. I think they come in there with great intentions, but they're not willing to make the commitment, and not to the art, right? As we said, but indirectly, right?
To themselves. Yeah.
And that's why they came there originally. Yeah. It wasn't the art, so some people can get past it, see it for what it is, and embrace it. Yeah. Other people just are not ready for it yet. Yeah.
Because if you look at it, I like to look at things. It's funny. I just have this very strength and conditioning lens through stuff. So like I'll see, our volleyball kids on the courts and whatnot, and they will miss a ball. And coach will be saying, hey, your blocking form need to be more like this or like that. Things that I don't know nor understand. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If they just would have jumped higher, it would have been better. Mm-hmm. They would. They missed a pass. It was your platform was like this, and I'm thinking if they were quicker, laterally, hey, they would have made that play. It's interesting to look at jiu-jitsu because it's so much of the time I think of movement in like this little three-dimensional space. However, when you get in jiu-jitsu and you, like you said earlier, you take it horizontal and you get on the ground, now all of a sudden it's a whole new world of, it's not just, it's going to sound stupid. It's not just 3 dimensions, but it's 3 dimensions plus you have what you can do off the mat, and it's a whole new, like, so from a workout perspective, I think it's one of the most full body, efforts, combining your strength with your conditioning piece. And I love how you have to think through it. I think it's not just this meathead thing where,
absolutely,
we have runners that we train, and they like to run. And a lot of it is, you ask them why. Often they don't know, but if they have an answer, I like the release. I like to, just kind of forget about everything and just, be, which is great. That is great. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you come in and you come to lift weights or do something, like, I need you present. And I think a similar thing with jiu-jitsu, like you need to be like focused on what you're doing. If not, I'm not saying you can't have a little bit of a flow state or something, like, you can, but like,
yeah. So, you want to be focused for a couple of reasons. One, just for safety. Yeah. Right. Because you can get hurt. Yeah. When you're tangled up with somebody. And the other reason is you want to see what's working, and what's not working. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's been times when I do check out because like riding motorcycles. Yeah. That is the one thing where I am completely present. If I'm not, or I'm not thinking of anything. Yeah. And I find that very beneficial.
So not think of anything at all, or not think about the jiu-jitsu that you're involved with at the time?
Right at the moment. Okay. I am just going with the flow. I'm in, like you said, flow state, steady state.
Is that something that came after 14 years of doing this? Or
I think it came sooner than that. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I think once you find your thing, right? Whatever that, puts you in that Zen state of mind.
Yeah.
You'll know it when you know it.
Yeah.
For sure. And that was for me. And that was very important that I had that. It's funny. People talk about, I remember when I was younger, Casey Kasem, remember him?
Yes. Yeah.
And
his countdown?
His countdown, right? I didn't listen to it all the time, but I got the gist of what he was talking about. He would talk about a song, but before you get to the song, he would tell a story.
Yeah.
And how that song, right, affected that person. You understand?
Yeah.
And for me, that's how jiu-jitsu is for me.
Yeah.
In a sense, right? It really allows me just be. And I always feel a little lighter afterwards.
Yeah.
Even though I'm tired, I feel, just lighter.
Yeah.
Psychologically, spiritually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the reasons why I stuck with it.
Yeah.
Because there's not too many other things where I can attain that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've gotten better at it because, like anything, it's a practice. Like most things, it's a practice, right? And so I've learned to do that outside of jiu-jitsu, but it was jiu-jitsu that started me on that path.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
absolutely.
Little release, that little, well, I think
reset.
Yeah. Like, I mean, so much of it, exercise, I think that little dopamine release and, you just, yep. If people don't get that, that's
why I think it's important. As much as I want people to do jiu-jitsu, I think it's important they find their thing.
Yeah.
That puts them in there. I don't think everything can do that. I think
I would agree.
Right. I don't think everything, but I think people should be in pursuit of that because it's inexpensive and it's very valuable.
Yeah.
I can't begin to tell them that.
Yeah.
Begin to tell people that.
Well, I think just the stress that people deal with every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They wake up and their stress levels are 90 out of 100 and they carry that until 10 p.m. and then they try to shut down.
Absolutely.
And
they're always on the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Always on it.
Yeah. I've been guilty of this.
Oh, me too. Me too. I think, I don't know if you want, like COVID.
Yeah.
Was, that was an eye-opening moment for me.
Yeah.
As difficult it was in some ways, there was a lot of positive that came of that. And I think it really coincides with kind of what we're talking about. So jiu-jitsu, I think, I'm not saying just the training itself, but as an academy owner, I have to throw that in there.
Yeah.
And because that's also evolved me as well. But that helped me prepare me for the whole COVID kind of situation. Yeah. And we're talking about mindset. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about, right? So when that occurred, I felt like I was slightly better prepared for it. Yeah. Especially when I put all my eggs in that basket of being a jiu-jitsu coach. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't wrench. I'm not a computer guy. I put all my eggs in that basket. So the thought of having to pivot during that time, you're right, because the proximity of my business.
Yes. Right? Yeah. Kind of close.
Yeah. So I think it developed from a business perspective and from the art. I developed certain things that just brought it down and gave me a new perspective on the situation. And I really attribute that to not just my experience in life, but as a business owner and as a martial arts practitioner. Right? Yeah. And not just learning how to beat people up or hurt people. It's so much beyond that. And it's funny, when I knew that years prior to, I wasn't about that. Yeah. I think that comes from maybe the childhood stuff, just how I'm wired. Mm-hmm. But I just want to learn how to fight. Yeah. I didn't care about all that other stuff. But as I grew, it's the other stuff that's what's important. Yeah. That's what if you stick through it enough, and I'm not saying just martial arts, but that a practice, you see beyond that. Yeah. And that's why I'm continuing to make it my life's work, because it's so beyond me. It's so beyond arm bars and chokeholds. Mm-hmm. There's so much more happening. Yeah. So, and that's, why I continue to do it. Yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah. And no signs of slowing down. Look at you. You just keep rolling.
No. Well, we talked about, because we know each other. Obviously we talk, but I used to lift weights and eat right so I could do more jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Right. But I think as you evolve. Yeah. Right. I hope we all do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do those things for other reasons now. Yeah. Right. I have people counting on me. Yeah. I do. Mm-hmm. In some form or fashion, especially myself and my family. Yeah. And then there's other people that do count on me. So that's the reason why I do all the auxiliary or ancillary or assisted work. Yeah. And even down to going to bed at a proper time. So it all came from being a martial art practitioner. Yeah.
Keep you around for a little bit. What, let's dial back here. So there was a time you're around 200-ish pounds right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't looking through your window at your bathroom scale this morning or anything.
No.
I knew that. Just kind of
I know where we're going with
what Tommy, there was a time where you were a little bit bigger than that.
just a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit. How much bigger were you, just to give people perspective? You're 5'11".
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. 5'10".
5'10" and a half, and 200 pounds. You know, average built mesomorph. Mm-hmm. But there was a time where you're a little bigger.
I was. Yeah, I was almost 300 pounds.
Almost 300 pounds.
Yeah.
That was beyond. You lost a third of yourself.
Yeah. That was beyond farm boy big.
Okay.
For sure. So yeah, that was an interesting story. So I've been yo-yoing my whole life. Mm. Yeah, that's been my cross to bear. And so I think it was about 41. Yeah. No health scares. It was just I'll tell you what it was. One, I just knew. First of all, I have a sign that says no excuses. Okay. And as much as I justified my weight, because I said, well, I may be big, but I can handle myself. Mm-hmm. Right. I wasn't congruent. I love that word. Okay. I was not congruent with my message. Mm-hmm. Right. So that had been, I've been ruminating on that. And then I went up against a gentleman, a D1 wrestler. You know him, remember?
Yeah, the pit guy. Yeah.
He came in and he just wanted to try jiu-jitsu out. So I was at that time probably 291 still. And he just took it to me. And I felt like a child. I felt helpless. And that was very eye-opening for me. Yeah. And my ego. Mm-hmm. I was very ego-driven with that situation. And normally I've gone up against guys like that. I'd be fine. But and while I was gasping for air, trying to figure things out, he would just sit there, just wait for me to come back. He wasn't even breathing hard, and that.
He was younger in your defense.
Yes, he was. However, it put a certain fear in me.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think that's, it put a certain fear into me. And from that point on, apparently that's what I needed.
Yeah.
And I never turned back. I have never turned back. I have gone through a lot of different diets, but it really just came down to mindset.
Yeah.
I know that gets talked about a lot. Mm-hmm. I know it's almost maybe too much, but it's true. Over the course of almost 11 years, mm-hmm. right? It's more about not being a slave to things, right? And that's part of the evolution of just my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be a slave to food. Mm-hmm. I thought about food all the time. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And I'd manipulate things in my day just so I could get more food in. And that was my life.
Okay.
Right. And it bothered me that was my life. And there were so many other important things that were passing me by. I didn't know what they were at the time.
Yeah.
I just knew there was something, and everybody has a cross to bear.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my cross to bear. And I'd like to say that, I view food much more differently than I did then. It's nutrients, it's energy. I don't mind it being pleasurable to some degree.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't do me, right, I don't take it in.
Yeah.
I'm pretty extreme at this point in my life. Not for...
You have gotten more... Yeah, quite a bit.
I have.
Yeah.
And it's not for body composition reasons. It was that. But again, I evolved. Yeah. A lot of it, to me, it's... I don't like what the stuff they're putting in our food. Mm-hmm. So I go out of my way in terms of expense and time to get the, locally. I do the locally grown things like a lot of the experts say. Mm-hmm. I get locally grown. I get my meat from, who?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Grass-fed, grass-finished.
Sonia's fantastic.
Yep, she absolutely is. And I'm grateful for her for doing what she does. And so I've gone that route and there's no turning back for me.
Yeah.
And I continue not to only just feel better, I can continue to do the art that, at a decent pace.
Yeah.
I'm not, my body's taken a little bit of a beating recently, but I can still do it. And I just think I'm just more, what do you call it? I'm just better able to handle things in life now. Mm. Yeah. Because I don't have that on my mind anymore.
Yeah.
And I think when you put the proper nutrients and vitamins and minerals in you and you're doing the right thing, I think I have more time for other things in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so when you're 290 pounds, you get beat up by a 20-something-year-old Division I heavyweight wrestler. Like this guy's very, very, very legit, his thigh, I heard his legs were tree trunks.
Yeah.
What was step one for you? Like what was the first? I always find it interesting. Like, I mean, that was the thing that set you off. But like, what action did you take?
Yeah.
After that to
I
get
had
more dominoes to fall.
Yeah. Well, I just, like I said, I mean, fear, right? Emotions are quite the emotional anchor. So I used that to my advantage because I needed that. As far as what I did, you mean like what I eat specifically?
Or how did you change? I
went right to a keto diet.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
Absolutely. I was fully aware of it. I didn't care about being in ketosis.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that if I did keto, it was very satiating, and I needed that. I wasn't thinking about vitamins and minerals. I just needed to get this weight off.
Yeah.
So I was on that for 5 years of keto.
Okay.
Right. And I mean, I was in ketosis because I didn't do it right in the beginning. So I decided to go into ketosis and try that route. I did it for 5 years. I hit a wall at about 46. I hit a wall pretty hard because I was training more. Now I've been competing a lot more. And I could feel the effects of the lack of water. And I was trying to put salt in me. It just wasn't working out. My muscles just felt depleted. I could never seem to recover fully.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I started to add more carbs, quality carbs in. That seemed to help, but I was still worried about relapsing. Yeah, I really was. I was worried about relapsing. Went to a carnivore diet. Then still hitting a wall. And then I just started.
So kind of back to a keto.
Yeah, in a sense. Yeah. And then just, I know it's kind of, you hear about it now, but I started adding more fruit and honey. I started doing my research on that in terms of the glycemic index, type spikes and insulin spikes. I got overwhelmed with that. Yeah. And for me, it just came down to, I felt better. I did it in moderation. And it just seemed natural to me. Like it wasn't put on this earth for us to, not eat. Yeah. What's the phrase? Low hanging fruit. Yeah. I mean, so I just started kind of delving into my, just common sense. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just got more common sense. So that was my first thing I did. I had to do that. Okay. And then honestly, the weight just came off. Yeah. Right. Well, you're still training. I'm still training. Yep. You're still moving. Yeah. But I'm moving better now. Yeah. And that propelled me even more. I'm moving better. I'm feeling better, just like anybody else. Yeah. Motivated. Motivated. But I wasn't, I'm an old pro at weight loss, gaining and losing. So the question was, what are we going to do when we hit that wall? Yeah. Right. And that's when I'd have, what do you call it? I don't want to say come to Jesus moment, but I had that real serious talk with myself, about how to get past that because it wasn't going to end well for me or for anybody. What they put in our food, diabetes, things. I knew I could hit that wall. Yeah. I mean, 100 pounds, I was over 100 pounds at one point. So there's no, I knew what that could do to me. And I'm not saying that I'm getting out of that situation, scot-free anyway. And if you think about it, you do damage to a certain degree. I bet you're okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not dwelling on it, but I'm also, that's another reason why I don't want to go back. Yeah. Right. So I think fear can be a healthy thing, just to what degree, So yeah, I did that and it started to come off. Once I kind of hit that wall, I just had that talk with myself and I just kept going. One thing I did do is can we just get into Yeah. I was into fasting. Okay. I know it's a thing. So I tried it, right? So I'd maybe have a couple of cheat moments on Saturday, Sunday. I'd fast on a full day, 24-hour. Okay. I liked it, right? Yeah. Did that for a little bit. And then I got the more I read about fasting and the spiritual component of it, I was kind of curious. What is it? BNFD? Brain-derived neurotropic factor? Brain-derived BDNF. There you go. Right. Yep. So I was interested in that. And what is that all about? And so I went on a 5-day fast, water. Not only did I feel like I experienced that, and I don't want to say enlightenment, but it was different. Yeah. Things were different. Once you get past a certain hump, it takes on a whole nother meaning of what you're doing it for. So once I did that, I truly believe that 5-day fast reset my brain. I truly do. Yeah. I looked at food even more now. Yeah. It was no longer, holidays, no big deal. I'd pick a few things, healthy items, and I was done. Yeah. I didn't have to, if I get up and do an hour cardio, I didn't have to do all this, manipulation.
Yeah. I'm going to earn that bad food.
I'm going to earn it. And all I was doing was that stuff used to stress me out.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to do that anymore. It was done. Food was really for nutrients and, and so I could perform. So I feel cured. I do. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to that.
Well, and when was that 5-day fast in this journey?
Yeah, I would say it was about 3 years ago.
Okay.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought I was fine already.
Yeah.
But that was a game changer.
Yeah.
Now I stopped doing that because I felt like I lost a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
I got down to 190. And although I was more flexible and faster, I hit a wall with that weight.
Yeah.
And I remember that was last September. I hit a wall with that. Or 2 Septembers ago. I hit a wall hard.
Yeah.
Physically. And so I gained 10 pounds and that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's me.
200 feels good.
I'm dialed in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I lost a lot of muscle prior to that. And I didn't seem like I didn't care. I didn't care, but I didn't feel better.
Yeah.
So I think you can lose. I always thought for a 5'10" frame, 190 was perfect.
No.
But no, it wasn't. I was too thin.
Yeah.
So 200's the spot.
No, I think it's interesting. Again, you didn't, it's not like you weighed 300 pounds and then you're like, hey, I'm going to do a 5-day fast. And because you can imagine hey, you get halfway through it and then you binge the crap out, because you don't get it done and then you feel crappy about yourself. And then, you try a crazy fast, or even going and you're a strong-willed human. And I think that like, hey, I'm just going to go quick keto. I can't eat this. I'm going to follow these rules and I'm going to train. But at some point here, if you are working out, lifting weights, doing jiu-jitsu, I don't even care. Carbs might help some things, You notice that you added in good carbs. I don't know why I put quotes around that, but like, I guess there could be, not Snickers bars. I guess I'm curious you said fruit honey.
Yeah. I just realized it was that simple. Fruit honey.
Do you do much in the way of starch?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you do now.
I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you 8 years ago?
No. I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
I was too, I was fearful in a weird way. Yeah. But not in a good way. It's like, because I had too much momentum going.
Yeah.
Right. So, but then, you hear like people like Mark Sisson, who I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Especially because he's just a sharp older dude, man.
Yeah.
And
he's adapted his training or his thoughts on things too. Absolutely. It's not like he's like, oh, this is it.
No, he's not dogmatic at all. But I forgot where I was going with that with him, but for me, it was just being metabolically healthy.
Yeah.
I kind of looked into that. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I was. Of course, I don't think I was. I mean, you're 100 pounds overweight, and that was not just one time. Like I said, up until 41, it was back and forth. So I think I've arrived there. Yeah. Can't prove it. I can have bread, and I don't eat a lot of it anyway.
Yeah.
But even the things I eat I'm very conscientious about it. So our bread is made with, I eat sourdough bread.
Yeah.
I guess, if you had to pick one.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it's made with glyphosate-free flour. Right. So that's why, it's beyond just, getting a salad at Wendy's.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Never. And I haven't had fast food in 20 something years, but, even having that, I'll have that with raw butter. Delicious. Yeah. And I wish everybody would make the effort. They realize they're not missing out.
Yeah.
They're not missing out and they're doing themselves so much better. But that's all over the internet now. So hopefully it'll take hold of people.
Yeah. I do think just theme I'm seeing here. Crystal Boldock, who we had on the podcast twice actually now. I love food therapist, and she does not get dogmatic about, keto or carnivore. She's actually found a lot of success within the vegetarian realm of things. But like you said, like going extremely organic and whole food, locally sourced stuff that like this was grown from the ground and I'm going to put it in my body. Not it was grown from the ground in, I don't know, Mexico or somewhere. And then, this and that was added to it so it could travel on a truck or, a plane, all the way to get here to my local Walmart. And now I'm going to eat it and because that's so, it's so frustrating too, how less healthy our food is today than what it was,
What's even more frustrating to me?
Do tell.
When I speak to people and they're aware of it and they do nothing about it, that concerns me.
Yeah.
Not just with our food supply.
Yeah.
Right. So when that is the one thing that bothers me, that they shake their head and go, yeah, I know. And while they take their, medication with a code red, and they say, I shouldn't be doing this. And I know it sounds very judgmental.
Yeah.
This may sound extreme. Maybe we should be a little judgmental, and a little shaming. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I see certain people do it, and I'm turned off by that. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, you've heard the expression, there's no atheists in foxholes. Yeah. You ever heard that expression?
I have not. Atheists in foxholes.
Right? Yeah, well, meaning when the shit hits the fan, all of a sudden they believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that people, for some reason, they know it. They light up, smoke a cigarette, or whatever their thing is, right? And then when shit hits the fan, they wish they could start over again. Yeah. They wish they could, they wish they had gone to the doctor to get get their colon checked, their prostate, all those things, they wish they had done it. Yeah. And I know people right now, they're going through some very hard things right now, and they wish they had listened to their wives, or they, and it's just, I think that's the part that bothers me the most. Yeah. That's just as offensive to me as them putting all kinds of chemicals and additives in our food supply. So,
yeah. I hate and we kind of talked about this earlier, but this hamster wheel that we all get stuck on, and we're going 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 and we're going. And then just the idea of, oh my gosh, now I have to go grocery shopping. And like my wife worked her tail off yesterday preparing. We're leaving we're doing a little business thing in Charlotte, leaving Wednesday, her and I. So we're missing Thursday, Friday. My in-laws are taking the kids. She's got the whole schedule written out, prepping their food. Here are lunches, here, breakfasts and dinners with grandma and grandpa. But hey, here's just trying to help as much as possible. Yeah. But it was 3 hours of her day in the way of, hey, we're going to prep dinners here. We're make lunches on the week. Even prep some breakfasts, in which I think we did egg bites this morning, whatever, nothing more than taking eggs and whatever, put them in, making them a little
protein bombs.
Yeah, really, that's what it ends up being.
Fat bombs. I think
she adds, I don't know what else she adds in it, spinach and cheese or something like that. I mean, the kids eat them down. But it's so much work, and I don't think it's an excessive amount of work. Sorry, honey. But it's I do other things. Let's be clear. Just I'm fair and white here.
I said trash out.
Exactly. Somebody has to. Gosh, she fills it up. No, but it's tough because I know we tag team it and make these things happen, and it's so. We make it so easy for people just to run by Culver's, run by Beefaroo, or whatever that is, and then it becomes commonplace. Now it's, hey, oh my gosh, you had a great wrestling meet. We're gonna go out and celebrate at Culver's. Is that really you just busted your tail on the mat for 4 matches. You killed you got after it. You're exhausted. You're ripped apart. Hey, let's go gut bomb ourselves with some cheese curds.
Yep.
And just now if you, I don't want to judge. I don't care that, but I totally see your point.
No,
it's
yeah.
And I've taken my emotion, I think, from it. It's never, we're going to reward, you were such a good boy. We're going to take you, we're going to reward you with this instead of let's reward them with really good food. Do we have to eat crap in order to
it's the social norms
that
have been created.
Yeah.
The people on the other end pulling the strings, so to speak, they saw it. Mm-hmm. They know how to tap into the human psyche.
Yeah.
Convenience, right? High palatable processed foods, make it delicious, to whatever, to no end, as long as it, but at the same point, as much as I am frustrated with them, right? Yeah. And I'm sure you've heard, look, it's all over the social media now. Yeah. I'm not saying anything that's unique here, but it's our responsibility.
It is.
We dictate the marketplace, right? So when you tell me when I hear people say it took me 3 hours, but they wouldn't bat an eye with other aspects of their life that took them 3 hours. Mm-hmm. But we get knotted up.
You sat down and watched the Bears game for 3 hours.
Right? Exactly. But here you are making whole food meals, right? To the best of your ability with, the best ingredients, you do that. That to me, man, that's amazing. I think that we should celebrate that. That should be the norm.
Yeah.
Right. So listen, I'm on that. I don't preach to people. If they ask, I tell them, I mean, obviously we're on the podcast. I'm just speaking, my life, and
we're influencers. Let's be clear.
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah. To some degree, I guess, but, and I don't pretend, listen, I've lived longer than I'm going to live, but you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I'm going to go out like that.
You think so? You're not going to make it to 106?
I don't know. It's not, that is the longevity part of it is not exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I think, listen, my,
health span, is that what?
I know that's another one. But it's true. Mm-hmm. I just want to be as healthy and that doesn't just mean, my diet. It's how I treat other people, and again, it goes back to that martial art piece and really being an academy owner. I can't just say it's the art itself, but when you're in a certain position, right, as academy owner, I think that the old lead from the front.
Yeah.
You're going to walk, talk the talk, walk the walk.
Yeah.
And, I do my best.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I hit everything, but, I'm very mindful of it.
Yeah.
I am very mindful of that. And I think it's not just diet, but it's the relationships that you have that get you that longevity. No. But again, nothing's promised to you.
Yeah.
Nothing's promised to me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I just do what I do, with my food and my training, and just try to be the best person I can be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You did use the word earlier, and I kind of skipped over it because it's such an easy word to say. And I think so many people are terrible at it, but that of moderation, and just like, again, you started off with a plan. Hey, I'm going to cut out these carbs. And again, when we say these carbs, can I say a lot of them were not good, healthy carbs, that when you initially went keto?
Yeah.
They were, okay. Which again, if you move a bunch of crap, yeah. Well, there's a lot of fat in those too.
Yeah, but it's processed to the gills, man.
Processed.
Yeah. But yeah.
I am amazed. Sorry, I'm sidebar here. The food scientists that are able to work these together. It's such an interesting, and now I hate them, let's be clear, but it's such an interesting, how do you make a Dorito taste like that? What magic are you doing? How?
Yeah. Yeah. They've, I
don't know what it is. I don't know how that works.
Well, I've heard they've invested a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And how what's our pleasure, senses. I hear they have, I know they made a commercial out of it, but truth be told, even down to the crunch.
Yeah.
Is tested.
Yeah. Right. That doesn't surprise me.
So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you what, that to me is, I don't know. I find that diabolical in some ways.
Yeah. No, completely.
I do.
100%.
Yeah. I think they would make just as much money if they went the other way.
Yeah.
But I understand if everybody's not on board with it. But I think, again, you're seeing the market now shift a little bit.
Yeah.
People are spending the extra money for fewer ingredients, less processed foods. And I think that's a start for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, and I don't even know. So we also get the sourdough bread. Now this is an Aldi purchase, and it does say non-GMO organic on it. And there's 3 ingredients, and we buy it. And then I cross my fingers and pray that actually what's in it is actually in it. Yeah. And that I'm not just getting screwed around on this, but I definitely from a digestion piece, if I were to have regular Wonder Bread versus, what gets me terribly is Jimmy John's bread. That does not sit with me at all. So if I compare that to your sourdough, so much better.
Absolutely.
Insulin spike stuff too.
Yes.
I'm amazed with how much less that's a thing, but
yeah, I think like I said, I think knowing where your food comes from, it's been talked about. I just encourage everybody to do that and give it a real shot and realize that there's more to life than pleasuring your gullet all the time. You know what I mean? There's so much more to it. And I think that's what got me through it. So when I told you about
that's such a big point, though. That's such pleasuring your because that's what it and that's what's advertised, and that's what oh, baby boy, you made it to 1. Congratulations. You've never had sugar ever in your life, but now we're going to put this, cake in front of you and just watch you and it's cute. You video it, but then you think about what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like we're just,
absolutely. We've been conditioned.
It's conditioned.
Yeah. And the more I'm awake to it, the harder, to me, it's a movement now. I'm a part of that movement. Right. And it's really just about integrity. It's about truth.
Yeah.
Right. And I suppose, I don't know if that's objective or subjective.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation. But I think once you go down that route, the red pill route, they call it, right?
Yeah.
For me, that's what keeps me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
It really does. But again, I'm not trying to pretend that I'm a purist in every respect, but you'd be surprised, Adam. And if you and I talk, you'd be surprised. And again, I'm not talking about just food. We're talking about other aspects of life. And I think that just that compound effect, I don't know. I could see why. I understand how certain people who don't have a lot are joyful. I couldn't get that. I thought they were full of crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was my myopic view of life. Yeah. And there's certain people out there, they're just joyful. Yeah. And they don't have 2 nickels to rub together. Mm-hmm. And I thought they just, I thought it was, I didn't think that was real. Yeah. But that is what's real. You know what I mean? It's other aspects of, how you live your life. So, and which all falls in line with, that's why I don't sweat food anymore. Mm-hmm. Or if there's certain things, if it's not good for me, I'm good. Yeah. Not everything. I mean, sometimes I will watch TV at night. I know for some people that's not a big deal, but I try to get my reading in, and I find that more beneficial for me. Yeah. In terms
well, then you sleep better.
I sleep better. Yeah. My phone's in the other room. I take certain things from the internet and I go, let's give it a whirl. I can't tell some things I can't prove that it works. Yeah. But for me, if if I think it does, I'm good with it. Yeah. And if it's towards something positive, I'm good with it. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's interesting what, I kind of think of it as a teeter-totter. We're used to, eating late, drinking late, jumping in bed, on our phone while watching TV.
Yep.
We just can't have one device. We need to have 2 devices going at the same time. And I'm as guilty as anybody, with this. Because my wife and I do like to lay in bed and watch a movie like that, and now movies are too long. The kids go to bed at 8:30 for us to stay up to 10:30, 11. We have to split it into half,
Yeah, my wife and I will split things.
The first half and the second half tomorrow. Yeah. But you feel so much better the next day, and then you want to do it again, and then you want to do it again, and then eventually that teeter-totter flips, and attached to your phone or eating the Doritos or whatever it is. It's interesting to see what flips for people. You've flipped. It's interesting to see people that have come into the gym who, over time they figure it out. And then they like feeling good. They like feeling strong. They like being healthy. And that's worth a whole lot more than.
But why is it they go back to default mode? That to me, if somebody could figure that out, they'd be wealthy.
Yeah. Do you think it's just society and how
I think people think they're missing out. Yeah. They're missing out on things. They're missing out on, what's on their phone. Yeah. Right. It's a neurosis. It's neurotic. And I'm not saying I don't fall victim. I don't want to say victim. That sounds like I'm blameless. I do it. See, I even use that word victim. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not my fault. Right. Yeah. And I will fall into that. I have to consciously turn this away, my phone. I have to do it. Yeah. I will do it. Because to me, it's part of that being plugged in to something that's not good for me. Yeah. Because my emotions can get wrapped up, especially with we're not going to go down this rabbit hole, but the political climate, and you get wound up about things. Yeah. And I find that I got so consumed by that, I wasn't getting work done, right? Mm-hmm. Certain things I needed to get done that fulfilled me because I was getting caught up. And whether it's politics or any other social issue, I realized that it will still be there when I get back to it. Yeah. So,
and often you have no control over it.
Yeah, well, I don't like that feeling of that lack of control. Yeah, that's why I don't do well flying. Yeah. So, but I am in control of that. Yeah, and it's something I told a buddy of mine. He's having some issues in life, and career wise, and but yet I said, why aren't you handling your fitness? you can't blame nobody.
Yeah.
Because when he talks to me, he's my boy, but he talks about how, people are getting in his way from being prosperous.
Yeah.
Well, I go, what about that?
Yeah.
And then he doesn't want to have that conversation because then it focuses on him. Yeah. And I said, if you can prove to yourself that you can do that, right? Then maybe I'll listen to more of that other stuff, but that's we're guys. That's how we talk to each other, and that's how I talk to him. So get a hold of that. You're in control over that. Then you can talk about the other things. So, and I think that's a great starting point. Yeah. Right. And that starts that momentum with your life. Yeah. So, yeah.
Because I do think that I agree with you that it helps many things at that point. Like if there's stress at work by eating well, training smart, whatever it is, hey, the body piece then starts to figure itself out, or at least, stays, where it needs to be.
Or it can handle a little bit more.
I
mean, food is when you're eating like crap and you're not exercising, you're stressing your body out.
Yeah. Then you eat more crap.
And you eat more crap to make yourself feel better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's the short, you're not playing the long game.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I started thinking about when we talk about mindset. It's not, be positive and, and I'm all for that. Yeah. But let's get to the root of some things, right? Why do I want it now? Why won't I wait? You start and you look at it from that perspective, playing the long game and not the short game. It's kind of eye-opening.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that can help other people's parts of their life, so yeah, I'm big on that. So some of the gurus out there, I'm about, some of them, they talk the same drivel, what do you call it? But, there's some out there that really get down deeper. Yeah. Right. Why do we do what we do? And I think once we start figuring that piece out, whatever your thing is, right, that you want to figure out and conquer and get past, you gotta dive a little deeper on some stuff. Yeah. But again, you can't go wrong with good sleep, hydration, proper nutrients. You got to give yourself that baseline or that foundation. Yeah. So
take care of you.
You do. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm doing my part.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
You are too now.
I'm getting mad. Well, it's funny that you say that whole thing. Cause honestly, for me, and I've said this, I don't know how many times on this podcast, like stress is my anchor. Like that is the thing that will pull me down if I get too out of whack with, cause I mean, similar thing here, when we started a gym, or similar thing with you, when we started a gym, there's no blueprint. There's no like, oh, Adam, here's your business plan. This is what you do. Follow these directions and you'll do great. It's like, I'm literally building the airplane as I'm flying it. And like, I hope it's taking off, I hope it's going up. And then all of a sudden you see it crashing down. You're like, oh, no, and then we had to revamp things and adjust things. And finally, after 12 plus years, I finally feel that we are exactly who I want us to be. And I would not have said that a year ago. I wouldn't have said that 5 years ago. I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago. I thought I was what I wanted to be, but, and I maybe was at the time, the early CrossFit days and stuff like that, that's what we did. We did Fran and wanted to vomit. Yeah. And now knowing what we know, that's not our training and that's not our model. And I don't want to do that. And if you do want to do that, that's fantastic. That's just not here. So, go check out other places and whatnot. But like that, when my stress piece is where it needs to be, I do really, really well. And I feel like all those other dominoes fall as they need to. But when my stress is out of control, that's where it's so hard. And I get these busy parents. I get these, our teachers after school, they're so not fulfilled with what they're doing because they don't get the, support that they really, really need, and then they go through 7.5 hours of crap in the day. And at the end of the day, like they want to lift weights and just go home, which I love that they're doing that, because if they're not doing that,
at least,
holy cow, then they go home and they eat chocolate and drink Pepsi and,
it just becomes a job.
Yeah.
It becomes a job.
Yeah.
And then you live your life that way and you blink, you're 60 something years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
That's why you said something, I guess purpose or mission, right? For me, it started out just to teach people I guess fight, jiu-jitsu. There was but along the way, like I said earlier, it becomes more than that. I don't even see myself as just a martial arts academy anymore.
No.
Right. So it's a term I did not come up with myself, but a guy had said it several years ago, and I didn't even buy into it then. Now I do. And it's, I kind of fancy myself as a life, what do you call it? Enhancement center. I really do. And it's not because I wish it to be that. It's because of my experience being in this, this business and what I've seen, the things that people say to me. I didn't know that I would be somewhat of a life coach. And that's always a cringe title for me.
Yeah. I just cringed a little.
Yeah. It's a cringe title. And only because, people sit down, they view you a certain way.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll talk to you and they say a lot of things to you, Adam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They say a lot of things. And that's one of the things I've learned, how to be a better listener.
Yeah.
Like truly listen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't at first because I thought, I can fix this.
Yeah.
I went that route for a while. And I realized that most people, they don't necessarily want to be fixed. They just want to be heard. Yeah. So I became that. And
I do that with my wife too.
Yeah. So yeah, just, the mission of my academy has changed now.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny how that is, isn't it?
It is. I'm just glad I was awake to see it. Yeah. Right. Because we're talking about teachers and, I've got, we call them colleagues, right? They're about my age or a tad older. They want to get out of this business.
Oh, geez.
They cringe at the thought of teaching martial arts in their late 50s, early 60s. And when I ask them, well, what's cringy about it? I can never get an answer to it. It's almost like I shouldn't be doing this at that age. And I don't feel that way. No. For a second, I questioned myself, because I respect these people. No. Like, well, should I be doing this? Should I have an exit strategy here? But to be fair, I'm not trying to, it was a business to them. Mm-hmm. Right. And I'm not ashamed to make money right now. But I want it, but when I think we talk about virtues, reciprocity, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. You give me $1, I want to at least give you $1, if not $2 back in value, which is subjective, I suppose. Yeah. But when I start thinking that way, to me, this is not martial arts that most people will do. Like, you ever talk to somebody? I did martial arts. I go, you did? Yeah. Got the green belt. Oh, and there's, but very rarely do you hear a black belt. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is a whole nother animal. Yeah. You know this. So, but no, it's about listen, when I talk to people on the phone, I used to say, why do you want to do this? Fitness. And I don't want to do a gym. Yeah. Oh, okay. Whatever, anytime, Yeah. So that was good enough for me. Come on in. Well, then I saw as soon as they came in the front door, they were out the back. Yeah. Right. So I changed, what's his name? Simon.
You need to lock your back door.
I do. I do actually.
Let those people out.
Right. What's his name? Simon
Sinek.
Simon Sinek.
Yep.
The why. Remember why? Mm-hmm.
Yep. Start with why.
Man. Yep. So I would ask those now I've been doing it for years. Yeah. When I speak to them on the phone, I ask them almost 3 to 4 times why. Yeah. And fascinating because you get down deeper and deeper and deeper. Right. And I'm being sincere. Yeah. So I like to think that comes over across the phone. So one of my coaches goes, when I say coaches, I'm talking one of my business coaches, right? Yeah. Why do you go through all that? I said, because that's why my retention is decent. Yeah. Because if I can get down to the nitty gritty as to why they're here, right? Because they have a pain point. Yeah. There's a pain point. And if we can figure that out when they do start to slip or hit a wall, I'm not saying, hey, I thought you wanted to, lose weight. I go, hey, when we talked about, being a better example for your kids or breaking that cycle of the unhealthy family. Like I have a student right now, his generations of unhealthiness, generations. He said to me, I want to break that cycle. Yeah. Wow. Right? Yeah. He wants to break that cycle. Yeah. You know him too. And
that's big.
It is big. That's big. He wants to reset. I don't know if you can reset your genes, but you know what I mean? Like, right? He wants to reset it. He's going to start now. So his kids, and it goes, you know what I mean? Now it's going to be different for that family, that family name. And that's deep. Yeah. And I got behind that. Mm-hmm. And when I hear more things like that, I go, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. We're all like-minded. So everybody that's in my academy, just about, some slip through the cracks, but most of them that are in there, they're in there because they want to be more than what they are. Yeah. they don't want a complete change. You ever say, I can change your life.
Yeah.
Some people don't want a life change, but they want a little enhancement. They just want to bump it up, So jiu-jitsu is not just, again, about this activity. It's about a community too. Yeah. And there's that whole piece. And that needs to be nurtured and developed, right? Some people are about it. Some people, it's not for them, but maybe another place is. Yeah. So when people want to train somewhere else, 10 years ago, I took it personally. Yeah. Now, I wish you luck. And I mean that. And it's funny how that works. Yeah. It's funny when it's not that I don't care. I do, but you don't resonate with me or my culture. It's okay. Yeah. But please train somewhere else. Yeah.
So totally the same way. Yeah. And especially, with the pivot that we've made a little bit here in the last 6 months, specifically being, again, oak strength. Strength is our thing. We lift weights. There's some conditioning, but that's the focus. We had people that had been with us for a long period of time before that signed up when we were CrossFit, and that's what we did. It was CrossFit, and we blah blah blah, and we dropped dumbbells from the ceiling, and not from the ceiling, but from an overhead position, and barbells the same, and it was loud and aggressive, and some of that was fun, but a lot of that I think scared the bejesus out of other people. Also, the purist in me thinks hey, there's something about eccentric strength too. If you bring weight back down to the ground and da 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 da, and looking at what we are now versus where we were, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we are very, very different. And so I totally the same way. The people who have left through the time, it's totally I wish them the best of luck, because we are not what they signed up for. And I, not that I feel bad, and not that I tried to hoodwink them in any way, shape, or form, but I hope and pray that they go and find what they're looking for, because I don't want them to go from something to nothing. I'm man, the worst thing ever. Go to something to something.
Do jazzercise. I don't care.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
It sounds fun.
Thing. Yeah.
But it's hard for that, because obviously there's financial stuff tied to that adds to the stress piece.
I know.
But man, that's one thing I'm very proud of. I think at this point, not that we make it easy for people to leave, but and we want to be here and supportive of people during times, but I'm not going to get pissed off over it's not working for you. Let's have a conversation. And we can't really find, okay, well then, good luck. And I truly, truly mean that. I truly want the best for you. And,
yeah, I mean,
sorry, I went off on it.
No, I appreciate it, bud. No, I appreciate it. I think, we like coaches, right? Yeah. There's a difference between a coach and an instructor. Yeah. Right. So an instructor just gives you the nuts and bolts, right? Paint by the numbers. Yeah. Maybe it's not exactly, but a coach to me reads and empathizes, right? No. Whether it's clients or students, I think that's an important component. Yeah, for sure. I'll say it right now, I'm a little bit rigid when it comes to certain business things, because I am slow. I mean that. I will talk to you 20, 30 minutes on the phone. And, how many times I've done that and got nothing out of it? Yeah. But it's worth it to me, because I don't want to get into a pickle with you on the business end. Yeah. Right. That's why I talk to you. If I sense that it's not going to work out on my end, you know how much business I've sent to other academies? Yeah. I've sent, because when in that 30 minutes, I've made, right, a judgment on certain things that I've heard. And I say, you know what? I think you'd be better suited here. Yeah. And I've done that with parents, because parents go, yeah, they'll call me up. I want to get little Johnny into something. I go, okay, great. What would you want him to get out of the experience? Well, geez, he's very hyper. I get that 80% of the time. He or she, right? He's very hyper. He's this or that. Of course, I say, well, how much of it is he's a boy? Yeah. Right? And then we get into that conversation. So just to have, I want to gain a rapport with them. But generally, it's, they'll throw a couple buzzwords out, discipline, that. But sometimes they call just because they're just trying to get their kid to do something. And I have to sift through that because there's a commitment to this. You want discipline? You want these virtues? Yeah. They take time, right? And even teaching them how to fight takes time. And it's funny when I get a parent that comes in and goes, we want discipline. I go, okay, well, here's our agreement. It's this long. The agreement meaning time, right? It's a 6 month or a year program, whatever, Well, what if they don't want to do it anymore? Do you hear what they just said? Do you see what I mean? Like they throw things out because it sounds right. It's I want my kid, but so do you really want discipline? And I have my certain things I say to him. Hey, what if little Johnny doesn't want to do it anymore because it's hard? Because we want to make it hard for them, for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't want to push him into anything he or she wants to do. Oh, okay. Well, listen, I tell you what, and you've had Tony on the show. Yeah. And I'm not saying Tony doesn't feel the same way as I do, but maybe Tony's got different parameters, or I will send him to one of my affiliate schools, just because, they don't all buy into how I do things. Yeah. That's okay. But I'll send him there. Yeah. Or I'll send him to a competitor. Yeah. Just train. Sometimes it's a little funny. I think they think I'm Jedi mind tricking them because I'm so quick, not quick, but I'm so, you should go there. Mm-hmm. They go, well, they don't say it like this, but they're kind of saying, well, I'm not good enough to get your place. Yeah. It's like, no, it's not that, but this is how we are. This is our standard. Reverse psychology. Yeah, but I'm not just doing that. No, if it happens, I completely know. Great. Yeah. But I say, this is our standard. You cannot teach a child discipline without being disciplined. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know what? A lot of times I go, and it kind of shakes them up for a second. There's this kind of quick like, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, let's start over. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's going on? I tell them, this is what we're about. Yeah. This is a standard that we have, and here's why we have it. It's not just about beating people up, or if somebody takes your kid's iPhone, right? It's maybe they want to open up their own business someday. Yeah. And that takes a certain character. That poor person. Steer them away. No, I'm joking. Yeah. Do you think part of this is them not, because I relate, I'm trying to relate to, when we got our boys training with you, like I didn't know, like I truly didn't, really know anything about jiu-jitsu. No, you're very open-minded to it though. Yeah. Well, I try to be open-minded to things. So like, do you think some of it is people just being ignorant to the art, or? I think they're ignorant to the value and the benefits of it. Yeah. Which I'm not saying that all places live up to it. As I said before, when I talk to adults, I did Taekwondo, got to, blue, green belt. You know what I mean? You very rarely did they go the whole way through it. Yeah. So there's not a lot of sticking to it. Yeah. And again, not to keep repeating this, that's why I counsel people prior to signing them up. Yeah. I'm slow to do that because I don't want to get in that pickle with them. Yeah. Is this what you want? Yeah. And when the whys, okay? But as far as, most people just don't think the value's there. So for me, it is important that I truly give value. Yeah. And listen, I've got kids. I guess technically they're young adults. Yeah. Not one, not two. They've been with me for 10 years. Yeah. I have adults that have been with me for over 10 years. Not one or two. Yeah. Right. And I even more kids that have been with me for the 8, 7, 5. Yeah. And I'm proud of that. I always wanted to have that. Listen, I didn't get into this to get rich. Yeah. You don't get rich into martial arts academy, and you kind of know, Same thing I know you one day kind of the numbers a little bit. And it's okay. But I do this because I'm truly fulfilled. Mm. And my other business made more money. Yeah. I was, in the kind of construction field, and that made me money. Yeah. But I just felt more fulfilled here with this. So, but it's important that they understand the reason I feel fulfilled is because of how we do it, which we can always do it better. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know that. I mean, I've been down that road too. Yeah. Some people just think that we're not cutting the mustard, but we do our best to do it. Yeah. We can't make everybody happy. That I've learned. Yeah. And I've learned to let go. That's the thing. But you know what, Adam? Not let go and just be dismissive about it. I'm trying to understand, right? But a lot of people just don't know what the expectations are. Yeah. Right? And when you see your kid getting hammered on, let me clarify that for the audience. When you see your kid getting pinned down, right, on their back, and a lot of kids freak out. Mm-hmm. And Mama Bear comes out a little bit, Dad's little girl. I've had things, hey, what's going on here? Right? Because they're screaming. Yeah. Right. And to me, that's part of the process. Yeah. If you can't get past that, it's good. I'm not saying that they never will. Yeah. But if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? Yeah. So, these things I've learned, and that's what keeps me into this, because of what I've seen, the benefits that I've, not that I've gotten, but what I've seen other students get from it. And when you have the longevity and student base that I have, I don't know, I'm not going to, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. I'm not going to break my arm doing it, but absolutely. It's not just me, but I'm the head of it, and I have a great team behind me. that are just as on point with I should say, we're on the same page with what we want. So yeah, that's why I will probably be doing this, for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think that's, Tom, I have nothing to add. No.
Hey, listen, let me say, I put Reed through it.
Yeah.
I know a couple of times. I know, listen, we don't need to get it, but I know your wife, bless her heart. Yeah. She didn't agree with some of the things. Mm-hmm. I know that, but I truly believe, listen, he's a good kid anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah, he is. To me, I felt like it helped him. Yeah. I could be wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I felt like it helped him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that, like I said, I get some moms and grandmas. Yeah. They don't.
He's a gentle-hearted kid.
He is very gentle. But you know what I like about him? He's a gentleman, but he has that other side that Jordan Peterson talks about.
Yes. Be a monster.
Right? Yeah. Having that capability. Yeah. It sounds bad.
No. Yeah.
But if you think about it, but he's a young man. Yeah. He's kind, but I know that Reed, right? Yeah. He's nice because he wants to be, not because he has to be. Yeah. That's important distinction. Yeah. Because I've heard people, I let people get over on me. I'm just too nice. It's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't think that's why. Yeah. I don't think it's because you're too nice. Yeah. I just don't think you have the ability, So I think I like that. I like that. What's the word I'm looking at? That polarity. Mm-hmm. That monster, a warrior, right? Mm-hmm. And then being a scholar, gentleman. Yeah. Right. Who's kind, compassionate, right? Yeah. Giving, reciprocal. Yeah. But over here, we're not having
fire breather.
We're not having that. Yeah. We're not going to have that. Yeah. Right. So yeah.
I think that's the goal with.
Isn't it?
Bringing up boys.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're trying to raise a man. Yeah. And I know that word now has been going through some things.
It's been going through some things.
Right? Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to let anybody tell me different. No, masculinity is a positive thing. Yeah. But like anything else, right? I suppose, I don't know if spectrum's the term I'm looking for, but I guess it can be abused. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. But, anyway.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we've been running here for, holy cow.
How long?
An hour 12. So.
Did we talk about jiu-jitsu enough?
I don't know. We'll have to do part 2.
Part 2. I'll maybe be a regular guest.
People want to follow you guys. Yeah. Where do they go on the interwebs?
Yeah. CoreMMA.com.
CoreMMA.com.
That's it.
And on the social?
Yeah. Core Combat Sports. Instagram. And Facebook.
Facebook the same, correct? Core Combat Sports?
Yeah. It is the same. I wasn't with it with the whole social media thing until recently. I hadn't posted for 5 years. So the past 4 months.
There we go.
Yeah. I don't know if
back on the wagon.
Yeah. You like myself?
I've been liking things.
Have you?
I just saw the video on Instagram of
the picnic.
Is it Drake?
Drake.
Yeah.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killing people.
With style.
How old is he?
With style. 19, 20.
Okay. Yeah. He looked young.
Yeah. Yeah. He's an old soul, but I had to wrangle him down because some people are hard to coach. And he was one of them, but now he's brought it down. He got what do you call it? Acclimated to our ways and he's just, he's something else.
Yeah. Killing people.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. With kindness.
Which is good. You want the kindness piece.
Exactly.
Awesome. Coach, thank you so much.
All right, buddy.
I appreciate it. Listeners, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. That's all we have for you today. If you have any questions or want to chat or interested in seeing what we're up to in between episodes, head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow @OakStrength. Also check us out at oakstrength.com. If you like this episode, please share it with someone who wants to live happy, healthy, and strong. If you really liked it, subscribe and review the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast on iTunes or Spotify. Be sure to tune back in next week and remember to keep owning your health.